G. Herbo had been going through a lot over these years. While the No Limit soldiers went through some of the hardest battles on the streets, G. Herbo had become a successful rapper, moving far away from the violence of the inner city and constant danger of Terrortown gang wars. But that doesn't mean he didn't continue to struggle with the ups and downs of personal life. And clearly living in constant fear of deadly attack from gang rivals would lead him and his inner circle to continue taking risks. And unfortunately, he would face the consequences of taking those risks. On the 22nd of February 2018, G. Herbo was arrested alongside two other people after their limo driver tipped off the police to the fact that the passengers had illegal firearms. At about 10:30 p.m, police would pull over the limo in the first block of East Roosevelt Road in the South Loop neighborhood. Officers would find a Glock under the seat of one of the members of the entourage, with another man being found with a gym bag containing a loaded pistol and 21 rounds in a magazine. But to make matters even worse, police officers claimed to have observed G. Herbo placing a gun in the seat pocket directly in front of him, with that gun found to have contained an extended clip with 30 rounds of body armor piercing bullets. In court, Herbo's lawyer pleaded with the judge that he has no violent background, no prior arrests, and a fiancée that's 8 months pregnant. Herbo would ultimately be charged with aggravated unlawful use of a weapon, being released on $25,000 bail. Herbo would later strike a deal with prosecutors, pleading guilty to one count of misdemeanor carrying a firearm, winding up with a sentence of just 2 years probation and a $494 fine. Herbo would later elaborate on his mindset during this period, telling Adam 22 of No Jumper that you can't expect people not to carry guns when they live in constant fear of being robbed and killed.
And I might get killed for having on a nice hoodie, a nice jacket, so if I got a gun, I ain't supposed to protect myself. I'm a bad guy, I'm a thug, I'm a gangster now. But this the life that we brought up to. And then I can't blame the person who trying to rob me for my $1,000 coat, cause he can't get a job. The 30 kept me alive, you know what I'm saying? I love Chicago, I love my 30. When I got arrested for that gun, you know, people, the police and a lot of people, like, they was upset. Like, some police out to get me or whatever wanted me to be in that situation. Some people was upset that I even put myself in that situation because they knew I had to be in that situation. They know what we up against in Chicago, and they know why people got to carry firearms to protect themselves. So they like, damn, you let them people trick you. And you supposed to hire armed security, because they ain't saying nothing about me not having a gun. They know I'm supposed to have a gun on me. They know somebody will try to kill me. They know somebody will try to rob me. They know what I'm up against.
Herbo makes a good point, and it really shows the difficult situation that he was in after becoming so successful and getting away of the violence in Terrortown. And fortunately, moving on from that charge, Herbo's career would go from strength to strength. The collaborative album Swervo with producer Southside landed him at number 15 on the charts, with that being followed by a sequel called Still Swervin', which charted at number 41. Even if things were good on the charts, sadly, all wasn't sweet in Herbo's household. And after settling that gun charge and putting that firmly behind him, in 2019, Herbo would be embroiled in yet another scandal, this time for accusations of domestic violence. On April the 12th, 2019, footage would surface claiming to depict a physical altercation between G. Herbo and the mother of his child, Ari Fletcher, at their son's birthday party. Apparently earlier in the evening things had seemed friendly between the two, but later footage appeared to depict a much more heated altercation outside, with Fletcher appearing to assault Herbo. Herbo would later claim that Ari Fletcher had actually stolen a large amount of his jewelry.
Man, this bitch took my fucking jewelry. Bitch, you had my jewelry since your son's 6 fucking month party at my mama house. You stole it out my mama room. I've been quiet all this time. I ain't do no insurance claim. Try to get you locked up, nothing. You told me to come to Atlanta to get my jewelry back, you lame ass bitch. You still got 300,000 worth of shit. You got all my Cubans. No, she got 300, dude. My chains.
A week after the birthday party incident, news would surface that G. Herbo had actually been arrested for battery after Fletcher accused him of beating her in front of their child. Ari Fletcher would take to social media, detailing her claims of abuse at the hands of G. Herbo, saying he kicked down the door, had his child taken away in a car by a friend, and proceeded to trash the house and beat her severely. With Herbo's dramatic arrest on April the 17th, 2019, captured on police body cam video, later being released to the public.
What's going on?
My baby father.
Where is he?
He just left for my son.
On foot? Car?
No, he in there in a white Tahoe truck.
Could you? I'm finna talk to you. Just
Okay,
tell
give
her
me my
Give me the child. So what's going on?
I came. No problem.
He beat the fuck out of me. That's clear as day. My eyes hurting black. I'm beat the fuck up. Ain't no decided to win. His ass going to jail. It's over with, bitch. You done. Stupid. And bitch, I'm slapping your fat ass too for driving off in the car with my son.
Come on, go inside.
Y'all know not to play with me. Was he driving?
How'd you get all those?
because he dragged me. He punched me in my eye. That's why my fucking happened to be black. He spit on me. Anything, the fucking worst shit you could think of, he just did to me.
What the fuck do she want from me, bro? We with different people every day.
If you want to get stuff back from her at this point, you need to go to court, take her to court.
Trying to fight wild. She wild as hell.
I know how
She hit her own stupid ass eye, pulling out knives and shit while I'm holding my son. I just had to run out. Literally, she charged at me with a knife while I got your son in my hand.
Huh?
Did you see the handgun? He had a massive handgun in the back of his back.
Yeah, so I don't know if they pulled it out already. We got the call about it, about the gun, so yeah.
On January the 6th, 2020, G. Herbo would plead guilty to the charge of misdemeanor battery, with him being sentenced to 12 months probation, 150 hours of community service, and a family violence intervention course. But at least Herbo had accepted the situation, and in 2020, he would be attempting to move forward as a better man and better rapper. On February the 28th, 2020, he'd release his fifth album, PTSD. The project was themed around the pain and trauma that he had experienced in the streets, with a poignant cover art depicting Herbo holding a blood-soaked and bullet-holed American flag with the stars replaced by faces of friends he had sadly lost. And Herbo would explain to Hip Hop DX that this introspective album was inspired by his own experiences receiving court-ordered therapy following his 2018 arrest, with him eventually being clinically diagnosed as having PTSD, a result of all of the trauma he had witnessed and experienced in the streets. PTSD, the album, was an enormous success for G. Herbo, peaking at number 7 on the Billboard 200, his best album performance to date and his first top 10, with the lead single from the album also called PTSD, a star-studded cut featuring the likes of Chance the Rapper, Lil Uzi Vert, and a posthumous appearance from Juice WRLD, would earn Herbo his first Billboard entry for a single song on the Hot 100 charts, coming in at number 38. And in a further commitment to the themes of self-reflection on this album, in July 2020, Herbo would announce that he was launching an initiative called Swerving Through Stress, aiming to help young black people access therapy. Clearly, Herbo was learning from his past, and the self-reflection of therapy appeared to be a positive influence on his life. But likely another positive aspect was distancing himself from the people and situations that had brought about all this trauma to begin with Herbo later telling Adam22 that he had to cut people off and distance himself from those people to get away from the streets, suggesting that he is just too tempted to get involved when they phone him looking for help, so he just stopped answering.
There's a lot of people are kind of stuck in this like prison of who they're around, and they feel like they can't break away from that.
I done got into it with my best of friends when I wasn't in the streets, because I'm loyal to a fault. A phone call, just something as simple as a phone call, could pull me right back into that environment. So I had to cut ties completely. Right. You know how hard that was for me.
Despite Herbo's claims of improving his inner circle, this wouldn't end up being completely successful. And by the end of 2020, he would find himself in legal hot water once again. Apparently, the direct result of the company he was keeping. Because in December 2020, G Herbo was charged as part of a $1.5 million fraud scheme, with him and 5 members of his entourage accused of using stolen credit cards and IDs to fund a luxurious lifestyle, including spending on private jets, expensive vacation, and even the purchase of designer puppies, apparently totaling a theft of $1.5 million over the course of 4 years. Herbo would be charged with 14 counts of aggravated identity theft and conspiracy to commit wire fraud. But from there, matters would only get worse, as in May 2021, Herbo would be charged with additional counts of making false statements to a federal agent, with Herbo allegedly lying, saying that he didn't know promoter Antonio Strong, despite evidence allegedly proving that Strong had paid for multiple private flights, luxury hotels, and exotic car rentals as part of the fraud. For the record, G Herbo has pled not guilty to these charges in mid-2021, and despite things not looking good, this situation is still unresolved. Herbo would appear to deny being fraudulent in lyrics on his song Statement, a song that actually came from his latest full-length release, his album 25, which is a great piece of work and is crammed full of insights into the war in Terrortown, particularly his relationship and past with No Limit top shooter Mad Max, with G Herbo rapping on the song 2 Chainz that Max was killing people and didn't know how to stop, with Herbo going on to say that now he's a millionaire, he doesn't need to kill people anymore, as well as one of my favourite songs of G Herbo's entire catalogue, Drill featuring Rowdy Rebel, where Herbo compared Mad Max's killing ability in the streets with playing the video game Call of Duty, suggesting that Mad Max had 50 kills. His 6th album 25 was a massive success, breaking his previous chart record for PTSD, earning Herbo his first top 5 album on the Billboard 200. Add that to the fact that at the end of 2021, Herbo would appear on the all-star remix to the street anthem Who Wants Smoke by Nardo Wick alongside Lil Durk and 21 Savage, landing Herbo his highest entry on the Billboard Hot 100, with the song coming in at number 17. Ultimately, G Herbo did escape the streets, getting fame and fortune and the possibility of escaping the danger of Terrortown with his life intact. an outcome that so many of his friends would not be fortunate enough to have. But whilst Herbo was living it up as a successful rapper, many of those friends who he left behind would grow bitter and resentful against him for not doing more to use his newfound success to help them out. But with Herbo's help or not, one thing's for sure, back in Terrortown, there would be no respite for those gang members still left behind there, constantly battling for control of the streets and survival. And so in 2021, we would see the killing of possibly the last big name associated with this long-running war, because after years of trying, somebody would finally end up taking the life of high-profile Lakeside member KTS Dre.